It was difficult not to cry as the casket holding your father was lowered into his new home. He had died unexpectedly in his sleep while you were away training. You recalled the message from your mother that popped up on your phone. It was during a Pokémon battle against your rival, and when you received that message, everything stopped. Your rival, your friend, consoled you as you had fallen to your knees in a state of shock. Too ill from grief, the following days were spent at home. You had wandered into your dad's office room, finding the papers and books he had left scattered and opened. He had studied the supernatural events that occurred in the Pokémon world. Based on what you picked up and closed, most of it regarded ghost-type Pokémon like Phantom and Yamask. Just then, you heard something odd from behind you. You could only see fading smoke when you turned your head. During the following weeks, you continued looking through your father's papers, trying to grasp a connection with him and understand what he was looking into. The only pattern you could find was that he was studying documents relating to ghost-type Pokémon that were resurrected from the dead. Something then slipped from the back of one of his books. You found it was a list of cemeteries with large quantities of toxic gas and sightings of the Pokémon Ghastly. The name of the graveyard your father was buried at was circled 3 times over. Later that night, you were in bed thinking about what that meant. There must have been a specific reason for him to circle that graveyard, right? He didn't... No, he couldn't have. He has you. He has Mom. Dad would never... Suddenly, you heard another strange noise. This time, it was coming from your father's office. You quickly entered as you tied your robe around your waist. A large mass was inside of the room as it touched your dad's old Pokeball trading machine. In a flash of light, this thing was sucked into a Pokeball and it went away. A Great Ball had replaced where the original ball was. When you were close, you could see that someone was offering for another trade. You examined the trading machine's monitor to see who it was. The trainer's name was displayed with 3 question marks. According to the request, he wanted to trade their Pokémon for the Absol he just traded you. You looked at the Great Ball briefly, and you accepted the trade with a press of a button. In another brilliant flash of light, the Great Ball was replaced with the regular Pokeball from before. The ball opened with a flash of light, but nothing came out. It was only darkness. The following week, things started to become stranger around the house. You felt yourself growing colder in rooms that had the heat on. Cabinets were left open when you knew that they were closed before. And what was most haunting was the sound of your father's voice echoing in the darkness of rooms. One night, that laughter led you to your father's office again. The lights weren't working in there, and the hallway lights seemed to be needing replacements too. It could have been your imagination, but you started to see something emerging from the abyssal depths of your father's office. Its smile was wide and open-mouthed to present its many sharp and yellowing teeth. Its eyes were like rubies, with tiny black dots for pupils. It let out its tiny hand. You were afraid, but felt compelled to follow as you approached the air grew chiller. You grasped its hand and heard something fall behind you. It was you.